EnterTalk Radio, you're in to all things music.
Welcome to Sharpen the Axe. Explore the bleeding edge of guitar and bass gear. Discover a sound uniquely your own and cut through the noise. With your hosts, Eric Lucero and Paul Berezetsky.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Sharpen the Axe on EnterTalk Radio, powered by Pitbull Audio. I'm Eric Lucero.
And I'm Paul Berezetsky.
How have you been, Paul?
Good. Yeah, trucking along.
Yeah, same old.
What about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Work and this when I get the chance to. So
this is your mini vacation.
Pretty much, yeah. Every Thursday that we can.
It's still kind of a working vacation, though.
Yeah, pretty much. But at least it involves playing with cool gear.
And I think I saw some Coronas floating around here at some point.
Yeah, it's a rumor. Yeah, unsubstantiated and unconfirmed, but yeah.
We can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah, Gotta loosen for the show, right? Go ahead.
Just wanted to brag. We had Andy Summers.
That's right.
We interviewed Andy Summers last week.
Nice.
One of our other shows, Jackie's Groove.
I had been told that it was going to happen. I didn't get the chance to listen in. So how did that go?
Yeah, it went well. He's he's such a huge guitar hero.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
It was great having him on there. We were worried too, like sometimes if we get like these level players, you never know, something can come up last minute, but he came through. He
right on.
Talked about his process. Wasn't into talking gear, surprisingly. Yeah,
I'm sure he's over it at this point. I mean,
it's kind of his point was, I think, and to a player like that, it doesn't really matter what you put in his hands. It'll
sound like Andy Summers. Yeah,
it'll sound like Andy Summers for sure.
So that's a bright, snappy tone. The chorus pedal that never seems to be off. Yeah, and clean as hell, and jazzy chords, which is a list of things I love about Andy Summers. So it's something I always. He's one of those people where you hear someone playing and you're like, oh, I recognize that. That's probably
when you start doing like the ninth stretches.
Yeah, that whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much that entire song. Is learning that song is just what helped me.
And that's
have that kind of play, that spread while playing.
And that's really my one beef with Andy Summers is after Andy Summers, everyone had to do stretching exercises and learn how to.
Yeah, him and Joe Satriani who had those huge spread out chords as well.
Yeah.
I never got into the Joe Satriani side. If you're into him and play like that, awesome. I can't do that stuff.
I love listening to him. I can't even begin to play like that. I was watching a compilation the other day of Satriani and Steve Vai kind of like back to back. And
didn't one learn from the other? Wasn't Vai Satriani's student at some point, or maybe vice versa?
I'm not sure. I think Kirk Hammett was Satriani's student, or vice versa.
And Larry Lalonde from Primus too was, I think, Joe Satriani's student.
But that makes me think, like, how old is Joe Satriani that like Steve Vai's learning guitar? Like they're like the same age.
He's a Silver Surfer, man. He doesn't age.
He doesn't age. That's true. He could just shave his head, but really he stays the same age forever.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess that's a secret. I mean, some guys make it work for sure.
But anyway, guys, aside from this show, Sharpen the Axe on EnterTalk Radio, we're a whole music network dedicated to the music industry, all facets of it. So we have a ton of cool shows, a ton of cool interviews. We've, in the past couple of months, we interviewed Ann Wilson of Heart. Right. A few months back, we interviewed Ian Pace, the drummer for Deep Purple. We have like the players. This week we had Paula Salvatore. She is the VP of Capitol Studios. I think nice. She was actually in the Dave Grohl documentary, Sound City.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, right on. Nice. I actually didn't get to watch that series. I think I saw maybe one episode, but I didn't get to watch the whole series complete.
It was that's cool. So check out all our shows. We have a ton of cool shows, interviews, not just gear. So that's it. That's my little plug.
Nice.
Well, let's dive into the toys, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. And after we're done with today's show, go check out some of the other great shows on EnterTalk Radio. But for today, we've had so much great new companies, or at least new to us, and some well-established companies, of course, coming into Pitbull Audio now. Two of the newest and most sought after amongst the gearheads these days is Pettyjohn Electronics out of Albany, Oregon, and Neunaber Electronics, who are out of Orange here in California. Pettyjohn is known for, first off, insane, huge, dense builds. I mean, these things are solid and built like tanks. But even more so than that, they're known for high-quality audiophile components and pedals. So it really is high-definition sound. We got their flagship with us here, at least I think it's their flagship, the PettyDrive V2, and the Fuze from them. And the flagship actually from Neunaber we have with us, which is the Immerse, a reverberator that has, I think, all their algorithms in there and is a pretty amazing box. Have you dealt with any of these companies before or checked them out? No? Right on. I think you're going to be in for a treat. You're going to enjoy this.
We don't all work at Pitbull Audio and just play with toys all day long for our job.
I wish that was my job. I wish I actually did get to be paid to play with the gear.
That's why you come here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just grab stuff to play with here. And for that matter, actually, all three of these, with the exception of the Fuze, I've had a little experience on the Fuze, but the PettyDrive and Immerse are brand new to me. Read up about them, watched plenty of videos, but yeah, it's going to be just as new to you as it is to me.
Yep.
So let's dive right in with the...
First off, really digging the color on the PettyDrive.
Oh, right on, yeah.
Eggplant, sort of purple.
Yeah, or like ox blood maybe, sort of color. Yeah, it's definitely a looker and well designed. It's two independent channels in one box. It's the Chime on this side and the Iron over on this side. They're both drives. This is kind of a low gain with boost on the Chime, and the Iron is an overdrive with a clean mix, which is something I've been seeking out lately, so it's going to be fun to try.
Nice.
But on both of them, you have also low cut switches and 3-way mini toggle for low cut and 3-way mini toggles for clipping. So you got some tonal variety, and it also gives you a effects loop. So you got a send and return jacks on the back, so it's a pretty flexible.
Right in the pedal.
Yeah, yeah. It's popular these days. We saw it with the Keeley Dark Side when I brought it through. And there's actually a lot of companies that are incorporating effects loops into their designs.
So you could have whatever delay phase or whatever that's just part of the effects. Once the effects pedal is off, so is the loop?
Yes, yeah.
Nice.
It's pretty neat, and I think it might just be with
Saves you a tap.
Yeah, right, yeah, absolutely. Makes it nice and easy.
Any pedal that saves you a dance step is okay in my book.
Right on. Say, hey, you might grow a new love for the PettyDrive here. Yeah. So how about you try it out? We're gonna turn on the Chime first, so let's hear your clean. Nice. So let's turn on the Chime. I got a drive. Let's do it about noon, and the boost. Let's turn the boost off for now and tone it at medium, and we'll see where that lands us. So I know in the low cut, it's the medium amount of bass in the middle. I believe it is the most in the middle position and the least down below. And with the clip switch, it is the medium amount of headroom on the top, the most headroom in the middle, and the least amount but the most grit on the bottom. So while you play, I'm gonna turn this thing around or start messing with the knobs.
Try it on the bridge.
Nice. So what's your thoughts on this so far?
Pretty cool.
Right? Nice. It's a nice, as the name implies, it's a nice drive that's very bright, articulate. It definitely cuts through, and I like that you get basically like 6. I'm terrible at math, but something like 9 different options with these, all together. And let's go to the iron side, which is more of a drive. And with the mix, we have it on complete overdrive now. In a little bit, we'll start turning it backwards to get more of the clean signal in.
I'm not sure if I'm getting this in my monitors, though.
Yeah, I'm not getting much in my monitors.
Hey,
if,
Tino,
Tino could
I'm
work
just
on
hearing
that for
the
us.
amp in the room, but I'm not getting it here.
Sorry for the on-air technical difficulties.
That's why I didn't really have an answer for you when you asked me what I thought. I'm kind of hearing the effect. The amp is a couple of rooms
our
away.
producer engineer needs to get our
There we
key in.
go.
There we are. All right.
Oh, now I have an opinion.
Go ahead. So that's very nice. Now, one of my favorite features of the iron side is that you can bring, like on a lot of bass, distortion, or drive pedals, you can bring the clean mix back in on this. So I'm going to put the headroom right at the middle, so it's the most open, and the drive up at the highest.
And
actually, let's go with the lowest clipping.
Stupid question, but when you say headroom, what do you mean?
I think of it as almost like a 20-watt amp versus or like 50-watt amp, 100-watt amp, 20-watt amp.
Okay, gotcha.
Gotcha. It's the amount that it needs, the amount to where it starts clipping, or the level to where it starts clipping.
Right.
So let's make it with the most gain. Go ahead.
Nice and raunchy.
Right?
Yeah.
So how do you feel when it turns the mix back and adds in the clean? How does that hit your ears?
Let me play around with it.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's go.
So I'm going to start all overdrive, then mix it back in like you just did.
So all overdrive right now. Nice. Yeah, I like a little bit of clean, and I have a overdrive pedal that you can mix it in. I kind of like to find, you really got to find a sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
Where you kind of have a little bit of your amp's tone, which seems to add a little bit, on this one in particular, a little bit of a lower bottom end to it, I thought.
Yeah.
On the bridge pickup, once you brought in a little bit of the clean mix, it seemed to kind of thicken it up.
Yeah, it definitely, because it runs in parallel, and that thickness is just nice. It fills up much better than it would just being on this nice drive circuit that exists in there. So let's move on to the next one, which is one of the ones in the Foundation series, which for PettyDrive is just their single individual pedal series, since there's a twin right here. So actually, before we jump to the Fuze, let's jump back a second. Sorry, guys. And hear both of these on at the same time. Yeah. Nice. I just want to jump back for a second so we could hear that and make sure we got it within our time here.
Cool, yeah, cool drive, kind of vintage, raunchy tone.
But it's that high definition also that just makes it so much nicer.
Yeah.
It's that three-dimensional sound that just cuts. There's a reason that this has been so popular and one of the fastest selling pedals across any of the places like us at Pitbull Audio who are selling them, and we're glad to finally be able to offer it to our customers, the PettyDrive V2.
And what do they go for?
Off the top of my head, I don't know, actually. I didn't grab prices before I came here. But we jump next to the Fuze. This is a fuzz and distortion in one box. We got controls for level, highs and lows. The mix in the middle goes between the distortion and the fuzz. It's on the distortion right now. The gain 1 is for the distortion, and for the fuzz, you have a mini toggle with 3 different versions of the gain.
Huh, interesting. If you were to think of it in terms of having a fuzz and a distortion pedal, which one is first, which one is second? Any idea how that...
Like, what do you mean? Which runs into which?
Yeah.
I actually don't know how they have it wired in here. It goes between them, so I think they just run in parallel, and it's almost like going between 2 faders. But let's see what it is right here on the distortion side of it. Or if you're clean. Let's turn it on.
So right now that's you have it on what?
On the distortion, which is a gain 1.
Okay.
And yeah, I was about to mess with the EQs a little, but let's see where the gain at least goes, and we can mess with these later. It's maxed out. Nice. Now let's turn the mix in the middle here all the way to the fuzz, so it's just that. And we'll go to the top of the mini toggle there.
I'm going to switch to the bridge pickup here.
So it seems to be really subtle changes between the 3 of them. I think the middle is the one they call Nuke, which is the most open. And also rings, yeah. The down position, though, seems to have some nice bite. I'm quite enjoying that. So leaving the lows and highs at neutral. How about you play, and I'm going to go on the mix between the 2 of them, see how it sounds when you're shifting between the distortion and fuzz. at about that like 1 o'clock position there, yeah, about 1 or 2 o'clock, I kind of like that blend between the fuzz and distortion. Did you have any thoughts on that sound going between the two?
I kind of I wasn't really looking at exactly which is which, but I'm digging the overall mix. If you're having a hard time deciding between a fuzz and a distortion.
Yeah, right. And it's a nice solid small dial that'll sit right where you want it to and won't shift on you. But I mean, it's not a super crushing fuzz. It is more in that vintage flavor, and the distortion isn't a full-on high-gain distortion, but it is just enough to get a nice crunch out of it.
Yeah,
and to get some, palm muted riffs are going to do just fine on this. And the EQ, I'm loving the EQ on these Pettyjohns. It is real high definitions. It's just really nice. It's hard to describe. It's something different again because it's such high-quality audiophile components in these.
Like you can hear like kind of minuscule adjustments that you make. You can hear the precise difference.
At least it sounds like it to me. It could be my mind tricking me, but at least I've enjoyed it and found it real nice on these Pettyjohn pedals. I can see why people are flocking to this company. Now let's move on so we can have time to add all three in. This Immerse Reverberator from Neunaber.
This thing, I heard you playing around with this a little bit before this.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous sounding. It's their flagship. It has, I believe, what is all of their algorithms on there. You have control for effects level, depth, tone, which doubles as echo time in the echo plus reverb mode. And this last dial here, it depends on which mode, which voice reverb you're on to what it does, and it's right below there what it controls. So we got it in the famous wet setting from them, so let's hear that. To the hall. It's all good. It happens.
I'm getting too spaced out with this reverb. I don't know where I am right now.
Let's try to play it out here. Very nice. I like that with the pre-delay on that plate, you can kind of have it delay a little, or I hate to use the same word, but delay a little bit so the reverb kind of comes a little bit after the initial hit. Yeah, right? Something a little different. Now we go, they're also famous for their shimmer, but we got a spring here. Let's give that a try. Now we go to the shimmer, which there's two different versions of the shimmer in here.
Very cool. It's almost like a church kind of cathedral.
Right, yeah. I think what it does, it adds some octaves in the reverb, so it has that big ethereal sound.
Yeah.
And you can add the amount of that with this here. There's 2 different versions of the reverb, or of the shimmer, excuse me. Let's try that second one out there.
I don't have to play much.
Right. Just simple lines, just breathe on their own with it. Nice. Now we also have the...
That's pretty gorgeous.
Right, yeah, I can see why this thing is so popular.
I like this.
Definitely an amazing reverb device. This is the reverb plus delay. So let's go to the last one, which is a reverb plus detune.
Ooh, that's almost like a chorus.
Right? Yeah, you almost got it. You almost got it. Wait. If I may.
Quick, we're almost out of time. We got 30 seconds. There you go. Sending out an SOS. Sending out an SOS. Sending out an SOS.
It's actually a great reverb. I really like that detune, but I mean, it's brand new at Pitbull Audio. Call and find out about these, and come on in and try them if you can. We are almost out of time for this side of the show, and we'll be back in a couple minutes.
We'll be right back in a couple minutes with Paradox Effects.
Yes, and Digitech FreqOut.
And I'm going to put my phone on vibrate like a professional.
Totally, yes.
This is Sharpen the Axe on EnterTalk Radio. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Also, is the AC off? It's warm in here.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on EnterTalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Make this your vinyl night. I'm John J.R. Robinson, and every week, music creation comes alive through stories, experiences, and sounds when vinyl records filled our hearts and minds. My friends and I share our tips and techniques used in creation of iconic tracks for recording artists such as Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Quincy Jones, and Steve Winwood, to name a few. Vinyl has emerged hot, and the soul of vinyl defines art and passion which burns deepest at night. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on EnterTalkRadio.com.
Welcome to Sharpen the Axe. Explore the bleeding edge of guitar and bass gear. Discover a sound uniquely your own and cut through the noise. With your hosts, Eric Lucero and Paul Berezetsky.
Hey guys, welcome back. We're in the second half of Sharpen the Axe. And on the second half here, we are going to be welcoming back our friends from Paradox Effects, Fernando and Rogelio. We got with us the new Ionizer, which is a step sequence fuzz. It sequences through different modes of clipping. And we also have with us one of the most talked about pedals since Winter NAMM, the Digitech FreqOut, which is a natural feedback creator. It's a pretty damn fun pedal. Let's start with the Ionizer, though. Do we have him on the line, or?
I believe so. Fernando, are you on?
Hey guys.
Oh, hey, there you are. All right, awesome.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
we're excited.
Right on. Glad to hear. And anytime, we love having you guys on. So we got the new Ionizer in front of us. Now, tell us about it.
The Ionizer. Yeah, well, the Ionizer, as you said, we call it the clipping fuzz sequencer. So we made this pedal a fuzz with 4 different types of voices, and we included 4 different types of components or clipping diodes. And the idea was to make it a sequencer, and having all those different types of voices sequence through and make this weird kind of timbric and different types of textures that are going to be sequencing on your instrument. But also, like, we wanted to have the ability to switch between them individually as a normal fuzz, and that you can access that with the step mode. And
so you can find your perfect tone, I guess, the perfect fuzzes.
Yeah, perfect fuzz, exactly.
Perfect fuzz, yeah.
And yeah, that way you can kind of get more crafty with your tone by selecting like each clipping diode. You have like silicon diode, a germanium diode, and an LED, and a MOSFET transistor. Yeah, so all 4 of them give you like different textures and like really, really awesome voices.
Right on. And looking at the light LEDs in the middle, the S in the middle 2 must be silicone. The next 2 outside of that will be germanium.
Yeah, exactly.
The ones outside of that are going to be LED.
Yep. Yeah.
Nice, and MOSFET at the end.
MOSFET at the end, yeah.
Right on. Well, how about we check these out and see how they sound?
Check it out. We want to hear that too.
So here's my clean tone. Let's start with the silicone here. Nice. Definitely on that classic silicone, which, I mean, a lot of those vintage fuzzes are tend to be silicone or germanium. The LED and MOSFET's more of a newer thing. But
yeah, exactly, yeah.
So, it definitely sounds awesome, and definitely that full old grunty tone. So let's move next with the step in the middle, which also serves as tap tempo and sequencer mode, to the germanium. You want to see what that one sounds like?
Sure.
Here's your clean tone. And here it's on. Nice. Ooh. Very awesome germanium sound, full of body. Mm-hmm. And you know, I'm gonna turn up the tone a little because playing around with the Ionizer for the past couple weeks, I've really grown to love the LED clipping on here, and we've had the gain on noon. Oh, and let's get a little aggressive with this one. So. I love that.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
If you're an artistic person with anger issues, this is the pedal for you.
Yeah. As we'll get to in a minute, it can automize your anger while we're on it.
Yeah, it's maybe more of a modern distortion, but it definitely makes your hair blow, man.
Yeah.
You want to punch something or something like that.
Yeah, I wound up getting shaggy and looking like Matt Pike after I used that for a while. I can lead sleep. So how about
We need a barber on duty for this show.
Right? Yeah. Even though both of us just got our hair cut, so we're at our most groomed as we can be here anyway.
Looking slick.
Thank you. Let's have Paul check out the MOSFET at the end here. Whoa. Nice, and Paul also shows me up on precise riffing with got my signature sloppiness with that.
No, don't sell yourself short.
It depends how much warm-up time I have, which is almost none. But it's reminds me of like some of the like late 70s, early 80s sort of sort of sound of that MOSFET style there. Also, I should note we have a bright or deep switch, which is kind of a voice switch, right, guys?
Yeah. It can cut a little bit through with the bright switch. Well, on the toggling on the bright.
Right on. So let's hop to the sequencing side of this.
Yes.
Oh,
the
also
heart of the effect.
yeah. The main reason this thing is so unique and special. So let's see. I like tone up, gain up.
So is it cycling through the different?
Yeah, it's cycling through the different clipping. So what led to the development of this particular idea?
I don't know, we're math scientists.
That's a good question. Well, it actually was pretty sporadic or pretty, I don't know, I wouldn't say improvised, but we were messing around with different types of clippings with the overdrive, like we were thinking, that we were working on back then, and Efren and Rogelio started messing around
with
microcontrollers and started getting into sequencers, and we were like, how about we do this sequencing clipping diode, or like sequencing different types of fuzzes in one pedal, and we were like, I don't know, let's try it, and
then come out that thing.
Yeah, I guess that's the result of it.
Right on, and it's impressed anyone at the shop at Pitbull Audio who's picked it up, because I mean it's such a great utility tool. I mean, you can cycle through.
Awesome.
You can cycle through, yeah. It's impressing people, guys. You can cycle through 4 different kinds of fuzzes, and you can also get this machine alive thing going on for a really cool sequence, a really cool sound. So
you can use it like a synthesizer too. So it's pretty fun to use it.
Yeah, you can play around with the far left momentary foot switch.
Oh yeah.
Takes it to like an oscillating feedback, and you can also change the gain knob, and it will change the pitch of the oscillation. Yeah.
Really? I'm gonna put this down and give this a try.
Go ahead.
So let's do without you playing for a second, and here's what happens.
Oh, you don't even need me for this.
Yeah, it will almost cut your signal down.
Yeah, I've noticed that it almost is like I have other pedals that have a momentary feedback feature on them, and depending company to company, there's varying degrees of control. But I like that it's almost equal with the. It almost seems parallel with the guitar that would be coming in, so it's almost hidden to a certain degree.
Yeah.
So that's just Paul, and now I'm hitting it.
Nice. So much fun.
It's like it reminds me of the days of like tabletop battles where people would just hook up something like a random tone generator, a mess of other pedals, and be fucking chain smoking cigarettes over a noise show.
I think that feature is more on that side.
I think that's why I appreciate this thing so much. It just makes me want to get again that Moog on Fire sound I like so much. So, and you guys I remember seeing this on Facebook. You guys just got one of these into the hands of a producer recently, right?
Yeah, that's Steve Levine. Yeah.
And who is he known for working with?
He's known mostly for the Beach Boys, Motorhead, The Clash, and
Christ, that's variety right there.
Beach Boys and The Clash.
Yeah, that's enough, I think.
I mean, that jump. Okay, he worked with Beach Boys and Motorhead.
Yeah, Motorhead.
That's a flexible guy right there.
Yeah, he's worked with several bands. Yeah.
Right on. Glad to hear you guys got someone huge that got into this. And I mean, we had Noel Gallagher, right, with The Architect.
I know. That's amazing too.
People out of Tijuana going places. I love it.
Well, the pedals.
Yeah, the pedals. Yeah, at the very least.
We stay at home.
Yeah, we're just in the workshop every day. Yes.
Hey, hard working individuals.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
But, one of the things that I thought was so cool is being able to turn on that feedback with the sequencing part is feeding it into other pedals. You get so much more texture and so many other interesting ways to shape your sound or shape a melody with it. So I put behind the Ionizer today the FreqOut, which did you guys see that one by chance?
Yes. We have checked it out. I think it's an amazing pedal.
Yeah, it's a trip, but it's this kind of thing where something like this going into a weird device like the FreqOut, which I never knew there was a need for a feedback generator, but here we are.
Let's do it.
So we with the FreqOut, you can have it in momentary or non-momentary, a latching mode. You can have the dry on or off, but you can choose a bunch of different pitches for the feedback to be at. So you can do sub below, first or second interval, third or fifth, natural low, natural high. Let's go with the third.
I wish they all could be California girls.
So let's hold out a note. Try going around playing a melody with the.
I'm not even playing anything. Does it need a signal for me for the FreqOut?
This is providing the signal now.
Gonna explode.
It sounds like a cop's about to freaking kick in your door. That it's always, you always get the most curious in sounds and most unique stuff when you're combining pedals. Let's try a little more with this FreqOut here. Go ahead. Keep it on. Oh, whoop. There we are. There we go. There's that high whistle.
It's like I'm whistling on the porch.
So you can set the onset kind of like a ramp up. Oh, turn you off. On the bottom of that concentric, there's gain on top, and it definitely takes a little bit of trial and error to really figure out how to use it. Like at the shop, we found we like it momentary, because you just want to hit it on certain areas. But the sub on it is pretty neat for something different. So.
There we go. That's what it reminded me of.
There we are. Wait, let's try one thing.
Oh, there we go. That's a. So I'm playing with my volume control right now.
Yeah. Adding it in, guys.
Yeah. Wow. You could do some. You could melt some brains with this combo.
Absolutely.
Please.
It's this kind of things that, you know, there's those players at the forefront of the kind of pedal thing, like Nick Reinhardt I've mentioned on here before, Juan Alderete, of course. I really love seeing when this kind of stuff gets into their hands, like these out of the ordinary ideas. But you guys have made something really awesome here that's accessible to just to try something different.
Oh, thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Yeah,
appreciate it, man.
Really appreciate it.
Oh, no worries. Now, are you guys working on anything else now, or is it just getting the architects, Fortissimos, Ionizers, and fuzzy cats and defibrillators out the door right now?
We are working on our Ionizer orders, and we have it available now. So that's what we're working with. Our pedals in general, but also we are working on
new designs.
Yeah, Rogelio and the friend are working on the overdrive I told you before.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, and we are also working on like a bit crusher.
We're working on a bit crusher that has like crazy modulations too, for changing the resolution. Also, what else we're doing?
There's some stuff in the air, but mainly those are the two pedals we're going to release really soon.
Hopefully this year,
yeah, the overdrive.
Yeah,
especially
with the overdrive.
Nice, glad to hear. I look forward to seeing what you guys do in the future. Is there anything else that has that would like us to know about? Any events, any places you guys are going to be showing your wares at?
In the moment,
Yeah, not for the moment. We've been busy working at home.
you can come to our workshop
Work
to
our
visit us and I don't know, have a beer with us.
That sounds like a fantastic plan. I mean, hell, beer and wonderful food all around Tijuana. Hell,
Yeah.
Awesome.
it's a great deal.
Whenever
right
you
there.
want. Whenever you want. We are. We're also working on a video for the Ionizer that'll be up soon.
Awesome.
And getting that out there, especially. We're working more on that.
Right on. Glad to hear. So you guys will have some media and stuff to check out about the Ionizer soon. Now, is there anything else you think we should try out or explore with the Ionizer?
Check it out with samplers. Sorry, with samplers, synthesizers. It does crazy things.
Nice. Right on. So it's a flexible device meant to be used with whatever input, just to let your imagination run wild and try something different, huh?
Yeah. That's
exactly.
the idea. That's the idea too.
Awesome.
But you can give it a try with bass also. It can get really really percussive with the sequencer.
Yeah,
Nice.
for those people who like to experiment with beats and drum machines and things like that, I think this is a very good pedal for them to explore.
Nice, right on. And you guys do yourselves are synth players and modular guys, right?
Rogelio mostly is the he actually plays in our band. He plays drums and samplers and some synthesizers at the same time. So he's like an octopus.
Right on, multi-talented guy. Nice.
Multitask guy.
And I know Dwarfcraft takes a lot of influence from synthesizers in the modular world. Would you say you guys take a lot of influence from there as well? I know it played a part in the Oneric.
Yeah, especially since we've been doing modulation pedals. I think it's like it's really hard to like know the exact boundary on in between them, like synthesizers and pedals. Like they have really similar approaches, but the modular world is I think it goes really well with pedals and delays, reverbs, and now like this fuzzing sequencer, weird freak, you know.
It all fits into each other.
Yeah. So we take a lot of that into our pedals too.
Nice. Now with a lot of the like I mentioned, like I just said, there's a lot of pedals that are influenced from synths in the modular world. Is there anything you guys have seen that you think is coming, or any other trends that or possibilities in the future, like in just the general pedal world that have piqued your interest?
I don't know. Interesting.
Sounds like you guys kind of come up with stuff on your own rather than wait to see what comes down the line from others.
It's actually like I think it's hard to keep up, but I've seen I don't know, like the pedal world to be more interested also in like their designs, like not only the electronic part but also like the visual design, which maybe I don't know, back then or I don't know, 2000s, even 2010 maybe, like it was something taken for granted maybe, or more a consequence of
like a generic design or something.
A consequence of just having to have a pedal ready maybe. But I've seen a lot of more work now on the design of the pedal, like everything that the pedal conveys.
The layouts, the art, the chassis.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really unique to every brand. Like I find, for example, like Thorpe, they or he makes like a really vintage kind of looking pedal, but it looks new, like it looks modern.
Yeah, those things
Like
are built
the
like
chassis.
tanks. Yeah.
Yeah, and he has like a military background, so they look kind of military, like
Heavy duty.
heavy duty. Yeah.
Yeah, we have them at Pitbull Audio, and yeah, they are absolutely heavy duty. Those things will survive a freaking nuclear bomb attack.
Or nuclear wars.
Yeah, right. I mean, and you guys are right. Like, Earthquaker Devices has their motifs and their look, as does Walrus Audio, as does Supro, the Supro pedals, and and you guys are actually kind of redesigning a lot of yours right now, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
That's all.
Yeah, we are going to release a new version of the Oniric, and we are also changing the name of our architect. It's gonna be named in Spanish, Arquitecto.
Right on.
But the Oniric is gonna be really interesting. It will have like an effects loop jack to connect all of any pedal you want, and we'll go into the modulation section of the pedal.
Nice.
And
that's a great expansion of a great idea. We've had a lot of fun with the Oniric. Unfortunately, we're starting to get close to the end of the show here. But Fernando, Aurelio, thank you guys so much for joining us again and guiding us through the Ionizer here.
And keep up the good work and the creative outflow. It's awesome stuff.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much, man.
We love to be here on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe we can get you guys in the next time that we have something out. But for now, you can come check out the Ionizer and other pedals from Paradox, Digitech, and Pettyjohn Electronics at Pitbull Audio.
This is Sharpen the Axe on EnterTalk Radio. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you next time with some more goodies.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
And check out Pitbull Audio if you want to pick up any of this stuff.
This has been Sharpen the Axe on EnterTalk Radio, powered by Pitbull Audio.
Take care.